My friends, as we enter the reserve, I do ask that everyone remain fully seated at all times, keeping your hands, arms, feet, legs, and everything else inside the safari vehicle. If you have little ones with you, they are welcome to sit either on your lap or on the seat. But if that's where they need to sit, then that's where they need to stay. Please do not lift your little ones up in the air past them to be fully seated at all times. This is a photo safari, so feel free to take as many pictures and videos as you'd like. But keep in mind, we are not going to be able to stop for all animals. We can stop for some, but not all. And if we do stop, it's just going to be for a few seconds. So definitely get your cameras out, get them ready, because here we go.
All right.
This first part of the reserve we're entering is the Little Ichiri Forest. Animals here in this part of the forest will have to use camouflage as their main means of defense against predators. So we're going to have to keep an extra sharp eye out for any animals that might be here today. Like over on your left-hand side, laying up on top of the hill, there are some coppery brown animals. Those are bongos. Bongos are oftentimes called the ghosts of the forest because they are able to move about almost silently. Both male and female bongos grow horns, tilting backwards at an angle, helps them move through the underbrush as quietly as possible. Standing on your far right side, there are some okapi.
Oh, yeah, look.
Okapi have black and white stripes on their legs, similar to zebras. They are not related to zebras, though. The okapi's closest living relative is the giraffe.
Oh, yeah.
Due to the okapi's mostly solitary nature, as well as their skittishness towards humans, they were not discovered by the Western world until the year 1901. Until then, we had heard the rumors and stories, but they were dismissed as a myth, and the okapi was referred to as the African unicorn. It was a bit of a shock for people when the okapi was finally discovered and admitted to be an animal, because if the mythical okapi could exist, what other mythical animals might be out there? Laying to your left-hand side, there's a black rhino.
Oh, yeah.
Black rhinos are one of the smallest species of rhinos in the world, only growing to be around 2,000 or 3,000 pounds.
Only?
And the black rhinos have V-shaped upper lips that are prehensile, meaning they can use their lips to wrap around objects like food and pull them into their mouths. On your right-hand side, those light gray animals are greater kudu. They look similar to deer, but are a type of antelope. And we can tell that they are female greater kudu because they do not have horns. Only the males grow horns, and they can be about 6 feet long. They are pretty hard to miss. Since we don't see any horns, we know those are female greater kudu. Over on your far left side, there are some big black and white birds. Those are saddle-billed storks. They get their names from the little yellow spot on their bills that looks like a saddle. They stand around 5 feet tall, and their wingspan's about 9 feet wide, about the width of that canopy that's up above your heads. This next part of the reserve we're entering is the Safi River. The Safi River is a watering hole. It's home to many different types of animals, lots of whom will gather both on the land and in the water. So we're going to have to keep an extra sharp eye out for any animals that could be in either place today, in the water or on the land. We'll find out. To your left-hand side in the water and on the island, all those big gray and white birds are pink-backed pelicans. They get their names from the little spots of skin on their back that during mating season blush pink. After mating season, both male and female pink-backed pelicans will take turns nesting on their eggs. The pelican is a very old genus of bird dating back around 40 million years or so, based on fossil records. And there are 8 species of pelicans alive today, one of which is that pink-backed pelican species over there.
You think you don't want to fall in? Those black ones are really like ultras. Yeah.
Moving over on your left-hand side on the island is a Nile hippopotamus. It's a pretty rare sight. Hippos spend the majority of the day underneath the water. Sit down. Sit down.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Only really leaving the safety of the water to move about and find food. Perhaps that hippo is in need of a snack. On your left-hand side are some Nile crocodiles. Crocodiles can grow to be about 20 feet long. They are very persimmon, territorial animal capable of taking down prey much larger than themselves. Despite that, they're actually pretty good parents. If a crocodile's eggs are having trouble staying warm, no worries there. Mama crocodile will carry the eggs around in her mouth, keeping them nice and warm. And if her eggs are having trouble hatching, no worries there either. Mama crocodile will simply roll the eggs around her sharp teeth, cracking them ever so slightly so the little ones inside can hatch out. And you know what? They'll do so unscathed. On your right-hand side, that really big tree is a baobab tree. Baobab trees are sometimes called upside-down trees. It's because it looks like they are growing upside down.
It's like the roots of you.
They are capable of withstanding long periods of drought by storing water in their trunks. And to help conserve water, baobab trees only produce leaves about 3 months out of the year, remaining leafless those of 9.
It's a giraffe. Oh my gosh.
There's giraffes over there.
This next part of the reserve we're entering is the savannah, and it's home to some of Africa's most famous animals. The savannah is shaped by the animals that live here. Giraffes will eat the leaves from the bottoms of the trees. Elephants will just knock down the trees to get to the leaves at the top, and the antelope will eat the grasses. Over on your right-hand side, I see giraffes and zebras. A lot of animal activity over that way. Looks like we might get a little bit closer as we move throughout the reserve, so we'll definitely have to keep an eye out. The giraffes are the tallest animals in the world, capable of reaching heights of about 20 feet tall.
What?
They are the mammals that need the least amount of sleep, only needing to sleep around 20 or 30 minutes per day.
That their tongue is personal.
Even though a giraffe's neck is super long, they have the same number of bones in their necks as we do in ours, which is 7. Their big necks have 7 bones, ours have 22. The hairs on a giraffe's tail are 10 times thicker than the hairs on our heads. And their tails are basically giant fly swatters, capable of flipping those pesky insects from all across the giraffe's body. On the left-hand side, there's a cave. Laying inside the mouth of the cave, there are some African wild dogs. African wild dogs are pack animals, and they are the most successful predators in the world, with about 96% of their hunts ending in success. They are sometimes called African painted dogs because of the way their coats look. It looks like they roll around in a bunch of paint. They communicate with a series of high-pitched yipping noises that sound more similar to the way a bird would tweet than the way a dog would bark. To your far left side, laying down, those dark brown animals are sable antelope. They are one of the only species of antelope that, if threatened, will stand to defend themselves instead of running away. Their horns curve backwards at an angle to help stop predators from jumping on their backs. But the sables can still use their horns to ram forward in self-defense if need be. On your right and left-hand sides, all those gray animals are white, bearded wildebeest. They are often called gnu, that's spelled G-N-U, and that's for the noise that they make. They kind of make a low grunting new noise. Wildebeest can go for about 5 days without drinking any water, which comes in handy when they migrate across the savannah, because sometimes it can take several days for them to get from one watering hole to the next. We're a little bit closer to those giraffes over on your right-hand side. We're closer to the zebras up ahead, it looks like, too. The giraffes here on the reserve are Maasai giraffes. Maasai giraffes are distinctive for their messy spot patterns. Some spots jag outwards, others jag inwards. No 2 spots are the same and no one is perfect. But that's alright, messy spots just let us know that they are Maasai giraffes. Look at the giraffe! As we get closer, looks like there's several zebras on our left-hand side, some going to be on our right-hand side as we come around the corner. And then one of the ones on our right-hand side looks like baby zebra, little one born out here on the reserve a few weeks ago. He's not quite a month old yet, but no worries, he's happy, healthy, was done walking within a few hours. So baby zebra on your right, zebras on both sides, more giraffes on your right-hand side, lots of animals all over. The zebras, based on the extra thick stripes running along their hind legs, we can identify them as Hartman's mountain zebras. A group of zebras is called a dazzle. because when they stand close together, all you can really see is a lot of black and white stripes. It's very difficult, especially for predators, to single out just one zebra. There's an age-old question surrounding the zebras. Are they black with white stripes or white with black stripes? Well, they could be either, and the way you can tell is based on the zebra's nose. If a zebra has a pink nose, they're a white zebra with black stripes. If they have a black nose, they're a black zebra with white stripes. A pink nose means a white zebra, and a black nose means a black one. On your right-hand side, those animals with really big horns are Ankole cattle. They're one of the only domesticated animals here on the reserve, meaning they can actually live and thrive on farms. Both male and female Ankole cattle will grow those massive horns. But even though their horns are huge, they're not that heavy. They are hollowed and honeycombed on the inside, helping them stay as light as possible. Depending on the size and shape of their horns, they only grow to be about 5 or 10 pounds apiece, which is not too bad given their size. More giraffes over on your left-hand side. For every foot of height a giraffe has, they have about an inch of tongue. So a 20-foot tall giraffe will have about a 20-inch long tongue.
Oh my goodness.
Their tongues are pre-hinge style, meaning they can use them to wrap around objects like food and pull them into their mouths. A giraffe's tongue is not pink like ours. It's a dark bluish, blackish color. That's because while giraffes are eating, their tongues spend so much time outside of their mouths that if their tongues were lighter in color, they would be sunburnt. And that would not be fun, a sunburnt tongue. Ouch. A group of giraffes is called a tower because they tower above all the other animals that live out on the savannah.
Learn something every day.
It's supposed to be a joke.
Zebras are down.
That was a joke.
On your right-hand side, in a little awkward patch past the tree line, there's an African elephant. We might see the elephant a little bit better as we keep on moving. Keep an eye on your right.
did the elephant.
A little bit of a tricky spot to see over by those trees. The male African elephant can grow to be around 12,000 pounds. And a fully grown African elephant can eat around 300 pounds of food per day. It's a little bit better. Eating all that food every day was getting them into some trouble with farmers over in Africa because the elephants were going onto the farmers' land and eating all their crops they had grown. That was the farmers' livelihood, how they fed their families. Farmers were not happy with what elephants were doing, but elephants didn't know they were doing anything wrong. There was food there, so they ate it. And the farmers were struggling to figure out how to stop an animal that can grow to be over a ton and is strong enough to knock down fully grown trees just to get to the leaves of the top. Fences the farmers had were no match for those elephants. Wanting to help with this problem, researchers with the Disney Conservation Fund discovered that African elephants are actually very afraid of bees. So the researchers flew to Africa, put beehives along the fences of the farmers' land, and now those elephants stay far away. There's plenty of food for them elsewhere, and the farmers have their crops back as well as some extra income from selling the honey that the bees produce. It's a pretty simple and peaceful solution that benefits farmers, elephants, and the bees. On your right-hand side, there are some tusk marks in that clay. I can't quite tell if those are old or new, but that's a sign there might be some more African elephants around here somewhere. They'll often eat clay like that to help supplement their diets and get extra minerals into their system. Kind of like how we take our vitamins. And it's some of those minerals in the clay, specifically one called coltan, that are responsible for elephant habitat destruction in the wild. Coltan is used in everyday devices like smartphones and tablets. So to keep up with demand, so much of it is being mined out of the earth. And it's almost exclusively found where elephants roam. Recycling old smartphones, tablets, and other smart devices is a great and easy way to keep coltan in circulation so it can be used again and again, unless it has to find up here. Protecting African elephants and their habitats for years to come.
Oh, that's a
Over on the left side, standing by the rocks, that is a juvenile elephant, meaning that there's some more elephants somewhere around here. Keeping an eye on little one. It might just be off in the distance. It's the female elephants that live in their big close-knit herds. That's where they raise their little ones. Since they live in their herds together during the daytime, baby elephants within the herd are free to socialize with whom they wish, bouncing around from elephant to elephant, just being the social little animals they are. But as soon as darkness falls, the little ones have to go back to mama and spend the night by like an elephant bedtime.
All day.
On your left-hand side are some greater flamingos. They are the lightest pink of all flamingos, but they're not born pink. They're actually born gray. And keep an eye around the island. All those gray little fuzzballs are baby flamingos. Those little ones will develop their pink color over time as they eat briny shrimp that contain the mineral keratin. The keratin that gives them their pink color. So the more they grow, the more they eat, the more keratin gets into their system, and the
babies on the shore.
And a group of flamingos.
The
It's called a
almost
plant.
fake, they're mechanical.
Right? They really do.
You just trying to mock him. He does that.
Can I be a flamingo?
What'd you say, Mary? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
What? Can we sleep? Can we see what's
Sleeping?
On your left-hand
Oh yeah,
side,
that would
there's a
be
mud pit.
pretty cool.
I know it's not the most beautiful thing you've ever seen, but it is pretty important mud, especially for animals like rhinos. They'll often wallow in mud like that to cool down, and then the mud will stay on their skin and act as a type of sunscreen as well as a bug repellent. It's pretty important mud for them, and they seem to love it. That being there is a sign there might be some rhinos around here somewhere. We'll have to keep an eye out, see if we can't find any. Over on your left-hand side, laying in the shadows, there are some cheetahs. Cheetahs are the fastest land mammal alive, capable of running at speeds of about 60 or 70 miles an hour. And they can reach their top speed in just under 3 seconds.
Oh my god.
The cheetahs are one of the only large cats that hunt during the day. To help do so, they have special black markings under their eyes that attract the sun's glare downward. It's kind of like having built-in sunglasses. And the cheetahs are the largest cats that still meow. If cats grow larger than a cheetah, they're going to roll. Up ahead, that large group of rocks is called a kopie. Sometimes large cats will use kopies as perching points to get above the savanna and keep an eye out for prey. We'll have to keep an eye out for any large cats that might be over on the kopie rocks to our left today. On your right-hand side towards the bushes, that white antelope is a scimitar horned oryx. The scimitar horned oryx will not sweat until their internal body temperature reaches 115 degrees Fahrenheit. And because of that, they can actually go for about 9 months without drinking any water. My friends, it does not appear that there's any large cats on the kopie rocks today. That's not too surprising. A lot of large cats are nocturnal animals, meaning they're most active at night, and it is right in the middle of the afternoon. So they're probably tucked away in the shade somewhere resting up for this evening when they're most likely to be active. But feel free to come back and go around again. No two safaris are ever the same. The animals make sure of that. Over on your left-hand side, there's a tree. Laying down at the tree just to the left of it, there's some warthogs. They're snuggled up together. They kind of look like rocks, but they're the fuzzy rocks with tusks. Warthogs are very light on their feet.
I don't see them.
Often trotting about with their little tails straight up in the air. And they are burrowing animals. They'll usually scoot on into their burrows so their heads can stick out for extra defense.
rocks.
Oh, they're warthogs. Oh, that's like the
Over on your far right side, there are some ostriches. Ostriches are the largest birds in the world, but because of their size, they cannot fly. They can run though. They'll run at speeds of about 40 miles an hour. And since they don't use their wings for flying, they use it to help steer when running at those high speeds. The little bontebok in the little antelope in the distance is a bontebok, and if you keep an eye straight up ahead on your right, laying behind the bushes, close to us, there's some white rhinos tucked away over there. When we're looking for rhinos, we found them. They're doing a really good job of playing hide and seek.
crap.
The bontebok, the little antelope, get their name from the Afrikaans word bontebok, meaning patchwork buck. It's referencing all the random little white patches all around the bontebok's body, their heads, their noses, their bellies, their face. They have a lot of white spots all over. The white rhinos were kind of tucked away behind the bushes. We didn't get a great look at them, but they're pretty cute. White rhinos get their name not from their color, because they're not white, but from the Afrikaans word wyd, meaning wide. It's referencing their lips. The white rhinos have very wide and very flat lips, especially compared to other species of rhinos. The white rhinos are fairly large, weighing around 4,000 or 5,000 pounds. But they don't let that slow them down. They can actually gallop at speeds of about 35 miles an hour.
That's long.
Looks like we're coming upon the warden's post. It's an area here on the reserve where the warden will tend their herd of Nigerian dwarf goats. The Nigerian dwarf goat is a commonly domesticated breed of dairy goat found throughout Africa. They're valued for their small size because they don't need as much land as traditional livestock like cows or sheep. And they're also valued for their dairy production. Milk that they produce is used by villagers either as milk or is used to make various dairy products, things like goat's cheeses, goat's milk soap. And the villagers can use those products themselves or use them to trade with others around them. Because the villagers are able to rely more on the goats, they are able to rely less on local wildlife. And the wildlife surrounding the village is left alone to flourish. My friends, it looks like we're coming towards the end of our safari. I hope you had a really great time today and saw some amazing animals. Yeah, I know I did.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure being your guide through the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Once again, friends, my name is Abby, and if you want to learn more about conservation efforts to help protect animals like the ones you saw today or others out in the wild, feel free to talk to any villager over in Harambe about the Disney Conservation Fund. I know they'll be happy to give you some more information. My friends, if you want to see some more beautiful animals, say check out the Gorilla Falls walking trail. It's going to be up the hill just right now. That's where you can find some more amazing African animals like maybe meerkats and walrus. And down the Gorilla Falls,
Yeah, we're
you
gonna do
can
a
find
roller
some gorillas.
That was a
The
nice
only way to know to go, so I definitely recommend heading on over that way.